Hello, and welcome to English in Fluency. I'm your host, Alex, and I am so genuinely happy that you've chosen to press play and spend some of your valuable time with me. This podcast is a special place, and it's special because of you. We believe here that learning English is so much more than memorizing grammar rules or vocabulary lists. True fluency isn't just about speaking quickly. It's about being able to share your ideas with clarity, to understand others with compassion, and to connect with the world on a much deeper level. Language is the key that unlocks these connections. It's the bridge that allows us to travel out of our own experience and into the life of another. So I want to thank you for being here. In a world that is always busy and demanding your attention, you have chosen to be here, to invest in your own growth, to stretch your mind and open your heart. That is a beautiful and powerful choice, and I'm truly honored to be a part of your journey today. The path to learning a new language is a lot like the path of life itself. It's full of small discoveries that lead to big understandings. And today, we are going to explore one of the biggest and most important understandings of all, one that is hidden inside a very simple, 7-word sentence. It's a sentence you may have heard before, but we are going to unpack it together, to really feel the weight and the wisdom it holds. That sentence is, life is not the same for everyone. Just think about that for a moment. We all live on the same planet, beneath the same sky. But the ground beneath our feet is completely different. Consider the water you drank this morning. For some of us, it flowed instantly from a tap in our kitchen. Clean, safe, and unlimited. For millions of others, that same glass of water required a long walk to a communal well, the physical work of pulling it up, and a heavy journey back home. Think about the light you use to see at night. For some, it's as simple as flipping a switch. For a student somewhere else in the world, it might be the flickering flame of a single candle, a precious resource they must study by before it burns out. From the food we eat, to the beds we sleep in, to the opportunities we have to learn and to dream. Our realities are worlds apart. Today, we will walk through this truth together. Not to feel sad or guilty, but to become more aware, more grateful, and more human. This is a perfect topic for us as English learners because it goes to the very heart of communication. This isn't just an English lesson. It's a life lesson wrapped in the English language. As we explore these ideas, you will naturally learn words and phrases related to society, emotions, and personal experiences. But more importantly, you will be practicing the skill of empathy in English. You will be training your mind to hold complex ideas and see the world from multiple perspectives. And that is the true sign of advanced fluency. And as always, we will do this gently. I will be your guide, speaking slowly and clearly, using simple words to explore these big ideas. There is no test. There is no pressure. There is only an invitation to think, to feel, and to grow with me. So find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and let's begin. In our episodes, we try to move beyond simple grammar rules and vocabulary lists. We aim to bring you topics that are real, that matter, and that help you practice your English in a context that is both engaging and meaningful. Today's topic is one of those profound ideas, a simple sentence that holds a universe of meaning. The topic is, life is not the same for everyone. Now, what does that really mean? And why should we talk about it? We all share this one planet. We see the same sun rise and the same moon in the sky. Yet the paths we walk are incredibly different. Some people are born into lives of comfort and opportunity, with big, beautiful houses and endless possibilities. At the same time, others begin their journey with very little, perhaps without a home to call their own, or even enough food for the day. Some children wake up each morning and go to a wonderful school filled with books and caring teachers, while other children of the same age must work to help their families survive. This is a fundamental truth of our world, a reality that is sometimes uncomfortable to think about, but one that is essential for us to understand. Today, I want us to explore this truth together, gently and with simple words. Thinking about this topic is incredibly important for you as an English learner. First, it introduces you to real-world English, the words and phrases people use to discuss society, fairness, and personal experience. This is the language of deep conversations. Second, exploring the different lives of others builds empathy. It helps us become kinder, more understanding, and wiser human beings. When we learn about the struggles and joys of others, our own world becomes bigger. And third, and perhaps most importantly, it encourages you to think in English. When you engage with a complex idea in a new language, your brain starts to build new connections. This is how you move from simply knowing words to truly using the language with fluency and confidence. So, in this journey today, we will talk about how and why life unfolds so differently for different people. We will ask some important questions. Why is the road easier for some and so much harder for others? What powerful lessons can we learn from this understanding? And how can this knowledge help us become better, more compassionate people? Please don't worry if the topic seems big. I will speak clearly, and I will use simple, easy-to-understand English. I will explain everything carefully along the way. You can always listen more than once to really let the ideas and the language sink in. Are you ready? Let's begin this important exploration together. Let's think. Let's learn. And let's grow. So, let's start with the very basics. What does this simple sentence, "Life is not the same for everyone," truly mean? You might have heard it before, perhaps in a movie or a book. It's a common phrase, but its meaning is deep and vast. Let's peel back the layers together, one at a time. At its core, this sentence is a simple observation of reality. It means that every single person on this planet, all 8 billion of us, has a unique and different life experience. We do not all start at the same point. We do not all have the same resources. And we do not all face the same obstacles. Our lives are shaped by countless factors, many of which are completely outside of our control. Where we are born, the family we are born into, our physical and mental health, the opportunities that come our way. All of these things create a unique path for each individual. Some people seem to walk a smooth, wide road, while others must navigate a difficult, rocky path with many hills to climb. This sentence is a reminder of that diversity of experience. To make this idea clearer, let's imagine a few different people. Let's picture a young boy named Leo. Leo is born in a wealthy suburb of a prosperous country. His house is large and filled with sunlight, books, and toys. His parents are educated and have good jobs. They provide him with healthy food, comfortable clothes, and a safe environment. When he is old enough, he attends a well-funded school with excellent teachers and modern technology. If he gets sick, his parents can take him to the best doctors. His future feels bright and full of choices. He can dream of becoming an astronaut, a doctor, or an artist, and he has the support and resources to pursue those dreams. Now, let's imagine another child, a young girl named Anaya. Anaya is born in a small, remote village in a developing country. Her family lives in a small, simple hut. They are loving and kind, but they are very poor. They struggle every day to find enough food to eat. The nearest school is many kilometers away, and Anaya has to walk there every morning on a dusty, unsafe road. The school itself is a single room with one teacher for many children of different ages. There are no computers and very few books. Let's take a moment to walk with Anaya on her journey to school. She wakes up before the sun, when the air is still cool. She helps her mother with chores before eating a small piece of bread for breakfast. Then, with her worn-out shoes and a single notebook, she begins her long walk. The path is not easy. In the dry season, it is full of dust that makes her cough. In the rainy season, it turns to thick mud that tries to pull her shoes off her feet. She walks with a group of other children, and they look out for each other. But there is always a sense of caution. This long walk, which many children like Leo would never even imagine, is a normal part of Anaya's fight for an education. It represents a daily obstacle she must overcome before her learning can even begin. After school, Anaya doesn't have time for music lessons or sports. She must help her mother fetch water from a distant well and take care of her younger siblings. If she gets sick, there is no doctor nearby, only a small clinic with limited medicine. Her dreams are more immediate. She dreams of having enough to eat, or of one day owning a new pair of shoes that don't have holes in them. Both Leo and Anaya are children, full of potential and wonder. But their starting points in life, and the energy they must spend just to access the basics, are worlds apart. This is the heart of what we mean when we say, life is not the same for everyone. Let's consider another example, this time with two adults. Think of a man named Marcus. Marcus grew up in a middle-class family and was able to attend university. After graduating, he found a good job in a technology company in a big city. He has a stable income, health insurance, and he can save money for the future. He uses the internet every day for his work and to connect with friends. He can afford to travel and see different parts of the world. His life has its own stresses and challenges, of course, but he has a safety net. He has choices. Now, let's think about another man. His name is Samir. Samir lives in a region affected by economic hardship. He is intelligent and hardworking, but he never had the chance to finish his education because he had to start working to support his family at a young age. He works long hours in a factory, doing physically demanding labor for very low pay. He has never owned a computer and has never left his home country. His dream is to provide a better life for his children. But he feels trapped by his circumstances. Marcus and Samir are both good, honorable men, but the opportunities available to them have been vastly different. Their lives show us again that the journey is not the same for all. We can even see this difference in something as fundamental as our health. Some people are born with strong, healthy bodies. They can run, jump, and move through the world with ease. They rarely get sick and have energy for work, family, and hobbies. Others, however, may be born with a chronic illness or a physical disability. Perhaps they cannot walk and need a wheelchair to move around. Perhaps they have an illness that causes them constant pain or requires expensive medication. For them, simple daily tasks that others take for granted, like getting dressed, cooking a meal, or going to the store, can be major challenges. Their lives are filled with a layer of difficulty that a healthy person may never even consider. So even in our own bodies, life is not the same. The place of our birth also draws a line that defines much of our existence. A person born in a peaceful, stable country may never have to worry about the sounds of war or the fear of violence. They can walk freely in their streets, and they trust that their government and institutions will protect them. But someone born in a country torn apart by conflict lives a completely different reality. Their childhood may be filled with fear and uncertainty. They may lose their home, their family, or their sense of safety. Access to basic necessities like clean water, education, and health care might be a daily struggle. These are things that many of us consider basic rights, but for millions of people, they are distant luxuries. This is another profound way to understand that life is not the same for everyone. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about your own life. Your journey is unique. You have your own story, filled with your own joys and your own sorrows, your own successes and your own challenges. Perhaps you have had to overcome great difficulties to be where you are today. Or perhaps you recognize that you have been fortunate in many ways, blessed with things that others do not have. Either way, your life is your own, and it is different from the life of the person next to you and the person across the world. And that is perfectly natural. That is the nature of our world. The purpose of understanding this is not to make us feel sad or guilty or hopeless. It's not about a simple division of rich and poor, lucky and unlucky. It is about fostering a deeper understanding of the human condition. It's about recognizing that we are all travelers on different roads. Some roads are paved and straight, some are winding and steep, some are long, and some are tragically short. But no two people ever walk the exact same road. This is the real, profound meaning behind that simple sentence. And when we truly grasp this meaning, something inside us begins to shift. We start to see other people with new eyes. We might stop comparing our own lives so intensely with others. We can let go of the constant questioning. Why does she have more than me? Or why is his life so much easier? Instead, we can begin to accept the fundamental truth that life does not distribute its gifts and its burdens equally. This understanding doesn't mean we should stop striving to improve our lives or the world around us. It doesn't mean we give up. On the contrary, it means we learn to be kinder to others on their difficult paths, and we learn to be more patient and compassionate with ourselves on our own unique journey. So now you see, this one simple sentence holds a massive, life-altering truth. Life is not the same for everyone. And when we carry this truth in our hearts, we become better people. We become more understanding, more grateful, and ultimately, more human. Now that we have a shared understanding of what this idea means, let's delve deeper into the different textures and colors of human life. Every person's life is like a unique storybook, filled with different chapters, characters, and challenges. The settings of these stories vary dramatically. Some people's stories unfold in the glittering, fast-paced world of a metropolis, while others are set in the quiet, slow rhythm of a rural village. Some are born into chapters of abundance, while others begin their stories with pages of scarcity. These initial settings, these starting points, profoundly shape the entire narrative of a person's life, influencing their choices, their dreams, and the problems they must solve each day. Let's first explore the vast difference between a life of wealth and a life of poverty in more detail. A person born into wealth often lives a life cushioned by comfort and security. Their home is likely a safe, spacious place where they have their own room, a warm bed, and access to electricity and clean water without a second thought. Food is plentiful and nutritious. When they feel unwell, a visit to a doctor or a hospital is a simple matter. Their education is often of a high quality, opening doors to prestigious universities and promising careers. They have the freedom to travel, to explore different cultures, and to pursue hobbies and passions. Of course, this does not mean their lives are free from problems. They may experience emotional pain, relationship struggles, or a sense of pressure and expectation. But their fundamental needs for survival and safety are almost always met, freeing them to focus on higher levels of personal growth and fulfillment. Contrast this with the life of a person experiencing poverty. Their daily existence is often a relentless struggle for survival. Their home might be a crowded, unsafe dwelling in a slum, or they may have no home at all. The worry about where the next meal will come from is a constant companion. A simple illness can become a life-threatening crisis if they cannot afford medicine or a doctor's visit. Their children may have to work instead of going to school, perpetuating a cycle of poverty from one generation to the next. For someone in this situation, life is not about choosing from a wide range of options. It is about making impossible choices. Do I buy food for my children, or medicine for my sick parent? Do I send my daughter to school, or does the family need her help to earn a few extra coins? Their life is not just harder in a physical sense. It is also profoundly limited in scope. Their dreams may be just as big, but the mountain they must climb to reach them is immeasurably steeper. Now let's consider the contrast between urban and rural life. Someone living in a bustling city is surrounded by a world of constant activity and opportunity. They have access to a vast network of infrastructure, schools, universities, specialized hospitals, large shopping centers, museums, and public transportation systems. The city is a hub of information and innovation, with fast internet and countless chances to learn new skills, find diverse jobs, and meet people from all over the world. However, this vibrant environment comes with its own set of challenges. City life can be incredibly stressful and expensive. The constant noise, the air pollution, the crowded streets, and the high cost of living can take a toll on a person's physical and mental health. In a city of millions, it is surprisingly easy to feel anonymous and lonely, lost in the crowd. Life in a small village offers a different experience. The pace is generally slower, and life is more closely connected to the cycles of nature. People often live in close-knit communities where everyone knows each other, and there is a strong sense of mutual support. The air is often cleaner, The environment is quieter, and there can be a profound sense of peace and belonging. But this peacefulness can come with its own set of hardships. Essential services that city dwellers take for granted might be absent. The local school may be under-resourced, the nearest hospital could be hours away, and reliable internet or even electricity might be a luxury. Job opportunities are often scarce, limited mostly to agriculture or small local trades. For a young person with big ambitions, village life can sometimes feel isolating and restrictive, a beautiful cage from which it is difficult to escape. So we see, neither life is inherently better or worse. They are simply different, each with its own unique set of advantages and challenges. To bring these ideas to life, let me share a more detailed story. Imagine two young women, Chloe and Fatima. Chloe lives in a sophisticated European city. Her mornings begin in a bright apartment overlooking a park. She enjoys a healthy breakfast before taking a swift, clean subway train to the university where she studies graphic design. Her life is filled with technology. She has a powerful laptop, a smartphone, and unlimited access to high-speed internet, which are all essential for her studies. After her classes, she might meet friends at a trendy cafe, visit an art gallery for inspiration, or attend a yoga class. She worries about her exams, about finding a good internship, and about her creative projects. These are her mountains. Now, let's travel across the world to a small, dusty village and meet Fatima. Fatima is the same age as Chloe, and she too is incredibly bright and creative. Her family are farmers, and their livelihood depends on the unpredictable rains. Her day starts before sunrise, not with a view of a park, but with the task of milking the family's goat. The closest school with any advanced classes is a 2-hour bus ride away, on a bumpy, unreliable road. She loves to learn, but attending is a daily struggle. Her family cannot afford a computer, so all her research must be done from old, borrowed books. After school, her time is not spent in cafes or galleries. She helps her family in the fields, prepares the evening meal, and mends clothes. At night, she tries to study by the dim light of a single kerosene lamp. Fatima dreams of becoming a teacher to help the children in her village. Both Chloe and Fatima are talented and determined young women. Both want to build a good life. But the resources, the environment, and the daily challenges they face are starkly different. Chloe's main challenge might be competing with other talented designers. Fatima's challenge is simply getting access to the basic tools of learning. Let's also consider the story of two men, David and Omar. David was born in a country with a strong economy and a stable political system. After he finished his education, he applied for several jobs and quickly found a position as an accountant in a reputable firm. His job comes with benefits like health insurance, a retirement plan, and paid vacations. He feels secure and can plan for his future, perhaps buying a house or starting a family. Omar, on the other hand, lives in a country where the economy has collapsed and there is high unemployment. He is a brilliant engineer. He graduated at the top of his class, but there are no jobs. Let's spend a day with Omar to understand his struggle more deeply. He wakes up each morning with a familiar mix of hope and dread. He spends the first few hours of his day online at a small internet cafe, searching for job openings, sending out his application, and hoping for a positive reply. Most of the time, there is only silence. The silence of rejection is loud in his mind. He returns home for lunch and tries to smile for his parents, assuring them that something will come soon, even though his own confidence is fading. In the afternoon, he reads his engineering textbooks to keep his mind sharp. But sometimes he just stares at the pages, his thoughts filled with worry about the future. His friends who were less skilled but had better connections have all found work. The unfairness of it feels like a heavy weight on his chest. He wants nothing more than to use his education to build a better life for his family. But the opportunity simply isn't there, and each passing day of inaction chips away at his spirit. These stories, these examples, are not meant to be extreme cases. They reflect the reality for billions of people around the world. When two people have the same dream, whether it's getting an education, finding a job, or raising a healthy family, the path they must walk to achieve that dream is often not the same. Some people are given a clear, well-paved road, while others must cut their own path through a dense, tangled jungle. This realization does not mean that one person is superior or that another is inferior. It simply illuminates the truth that life deals a different set of cards to every player. When we truly absorb this understanding, our hearts can't help but soften. We begin to lose the urge to judge others so harshly. We stop saying things like, "If they just worked harder, they would be successful." Because we recognize that not everyone is starting from the same place, and not everyone is carrying the same weight. We learn that everyone around us is fighting their own unique battle, a battle we may know nothing about. So, the next time you meet someone new, try to remember this. Their life story is likely very different from yours. Their hidden struggles may be far greater than you can see, and their inner strength may be more profound than you could ever imagine. Life is not the same for everyone, and this powerful truth calls us to approach one another with a greater measure of patience, grace, and understanding. So, we arrive at a very profound and challenging question. Why? Why is life so different for people? Why does one person seem to sail through life with favorable winds, while another has to row against a relentless storm? Why do opportunities cluster around some, while they remain frustratingly out of reach for others? These are not easy questions, and there are no simple answers. The reality is a complex tapestry, woven from many different threads. Let's try to gently pull on some of these main threads to understand the pattern a little better. We can group these reasons into several key areas: the family and social lottery, the geographical location of our birth, the state of our physical and mental health, the quality and accessibility of education, and the invisible currents of opportunity. Let's begin with the very first thread, our family background. The family we are born into is arguably the single most powerful factor that shapes the beginning of our life's journey. It's a lottery, and we have no say in which ticket we get. Some people are born into families that are financially stable, educated, and emotionally supportive. From their first day, these children are surrounded by love, security, and encouragement. They are given nutritious food, a safe and comfortable home, and access to a world of learning through books, conversations, and experiences. Their parents have the time, energy, and resources to invest in their development, helping them with homework, enrolling them in extracurricular activities, and guiding them toward a successful future. These children are given a powerful head start. On the other side of the spectrum, some people are born into families struggling with deep poverty, instability, or trauma. Their parents may love them just as much, but they are consumed by the daily battle for survival. They may work multiple jobs, leaving little time or energy for their children. The home environment might be stressful or unsafe. These children may suffer from malnutrition, which affects their brain development. They may not have a quiet place to study or anyone to help them with their schoolwork. They might have to take on adult responsibilities at a very young age, such as caring for younger siblings or working to contribute to the family income. So, you see, the family we are born into can set the stage for our entire life, creating either a foundation of support or an initial set of obstacles to overcome. The next significant thread is the country and environment we are born into. This is another lottery of birth. Being born in a peaceful, democratic country with a stable economy and strong social institutions is a tremendous advantage. In such a place, you can generally trust that you will be safe, that you will have access to clean water, electricity, public education, and health care. You have rights that are protected by law. You can plan for the future with a reasonable degree of certainty. But if you are born in a country plagued by war, political corruption, or extreme poverty, your life is fundamentally different. Your daily reality might be defined by fear and uncertainty. The institutions that are meant to protect you may be weak or non-existent. You might live in a place where there are no decent jobs, where schools are closed or destroyed, and where basic services are a distant dream. Furthermore, the natural environment plays a huge role. Someone living in a region prone to natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, or droughts faces a constant threat that someone in a more temperate and stable climate never has to consider. We do not choose our birthplace, but that single geographical fact can determine everything from our life expectancy to the dreams we are able to pursue. Another critical thread in the tapestry of life is our health. Health, as the saying goes, is wealth. A person born with a robust constitution and good health has a precious gift. They have the energy and ability to work, study, play, and engage fully with the world. But for a person born with a congenital disease, a disability, or a predisposition to mental illness, life presents a constant set of extra challenges. Their time, energy, and financial resources may be heavily consumed by managing their health condition. Simple activities might require careful planning and enormous effort. They may face physical pain, social stigma, and barriers to access in education and employment. A healthy person might run up a flight of stairs without thinking. But for someone with a respiratory condition or a mobility issue, that same flight of stairs is a major obstacle. Good health provides a platform of freedom and capability that is easy to take for granted, while poor health can be a constant anchor, holding a person back from reaching their full potential. Let's now examine the thread of education. Education is one of the most powerful tools for social mobility and personal empowerment. It gives people the knowledge, skills, and confidence to improve their lives and build a better future. But the quality and accessibility of education are far from equal around the world. Some children attend well-funded schools with small class sizes, dedicated teachers, modern libraries, and access to technology. They are taught to think critically, to be creative, and to pursue their interests. This type of education prepares them for a wide range of opportunities in the modern world. However, millions of other children attend overcrowded, under-resourced schools. Their teachers may be poorly trained or overwhelmed. They may lack basic materials like textbooks and pencils. In some places, children, particularly girls, may be denied an education altogether. Without a solid educational foundation, it becomes incredibly difficult to break out of the cycle of poverty. The gap between someone who has received a quality education and someone who has not is immense, and it affects their income, their health, and their ability to participate fully in society. Finally, let's consider the elusive thread of opportunity. Opportunity is a complex mix of chances, connections, and circumstances. It's about being in the right place at the right time, or knowing the right person. These opportunities are not distributed fairly. A person who grows up in a well-connected family might hear about a great job opening from a relative or a friend. A person living in a thriving economic center will have access to a far greater number of jobs than someone in a remote, neglected region. Systemic factors like a person's race, gender, or social class can also open or close doors of opportunity in ways that are deeply unfair. Sometimes, it can even come down to simple luck, a chance encounter, or a fortunate event that changes the course of a person's life. For those who have very few doors open to them, they may have to take whatever job is available, regardless of their skills or passions, just to make ends meet. They may never even know that other, better opportunities exist, because their world has been limited by their circumstances. When we weave all these threads together, the family we have, the place we are born, the health we enjoy, the education we receive, and the opportunities we are given, we begin to see the intricate and often unequal pattern of human life. It becomes clear that people do not all start their race from the same line. Some begin far ahead, while others start far behind, carrying heavy burdens. This understanding is not an excuse for failure, nor does it diminish the achievements of those who succeed against the odds. In fact, it makes their success even more remarkable. Understanding these reasons should dismantle our tendency to make snap judgments about people. It should fill us with a sense of humility and compassion. When we see someone who is struggling, we should remember that we do not know the weight of the burdens they carry. And when we reflect on our own lives, it should inspire a profound sense of gratitude for the advantages we may have had. Life is a beautiful, complex, and often challenging tapestry. And the more we understand how it is woven, the better we can support each other in creating a world that is a little more fair, a little more supportive, and a little more kind for everyone. But beyond these visible factors, like wealth, location, and education, there is another deeper layer of difference that we must explore. This is the realm of the invisible world each person carries within them. Not all struggles are external. Not all mountains are made of rock. Some of the heaviest burdens we carry are the ones that nobody else can see. These are the internal challenges, the invisible worlds of thought, emotion, and personal history that shape our lives just as powerfully as our external circumstances. Let's think about this. You can have two people working in the same office, earning the same salary, living in similar apartments. From the outside, their lives might look almost identical, but inside, their realities could be completely different. One person might come to work feeling confident, supported by a loving family, and emotionally resilient. The other person, sitting at the very next desk, might be fighting a silent battle with anxiety, dealing with a difficult family situation at home, or carrying the weight of past trauma. They may put on a smile, answer emails, and attend meetings, all while a storm is raging inside their mind. This is a profound example of how life is not the same for everyone, even when it looks the same on the surface. To make this more real, let's imagine a young woman named Maya. To her colleagues, Maya is a rising star. She is intelligent, well-spoken, and always perfectly dressed. She manages big projects with confidence and seems destined for success. On her social media, she posts pictures of her beautiful apartment, her healthy meals, and her weekend hikes. She looks like she has the perfect life. But this is only the visible part of her story. In her invisible world, Maya is struggling. She suffers from severe anxiety and what is often called imposter syndrome, the feeling that she is not as smart or capable as everyone thinks she is, and that she will be discovered as a fraud at any moment. This fear is a constant companion. Before a big presentation, she might feel physically sick with worry. After a successful project, she feels no joy, only a temporary relief before the fear of the next task begins. She is also the primary emotional support for her mother, who is chronically ill. Many evenings, after a long day of appearing strong and confident at work, she spends hours on the phone, listening, worrying, and trying to solve problems. The emotional weight of this responsibility is enormous. So while the world sees a successful professional, Maya often feels like she is barely holding on. Her battle is invisible, but it is real, and it requires a tremendous amount of her energy every single day. This concept of invisible worlds applies to so many areas. Think about mental health. Conditions like depression or anxiety are not like a broken leg that everyone can see. They are internal struggles that can make even the simplest tasks feel impossible. Someone suffering from depression might find it incredibly difficult just to get out of bed in the morning, but they force themselves to go to work or school because they are afraid of being judged as lazy. Their struggle is hidden, but their courage is immense. Think also about family responsibilities. We might see a student who is always tired in class and assume they are not interested. But perhaps that student is working a night job to support their family. Or maybe they are the main caregiver for a younger sibling because their parents are absent or working multiple jobs. Their reality outside of the classroom is filled with adult responsibilities that their classmates know nothing about. Their fatigue is not a sign of laziness. It is a sign of their incredible effort. Past experiences also create these invisible worlds. A person who grew up in a very critical and unloving home may struggle with self-esteem for their entire life, no matter how much they achieve. A person who has experienced a great loss or a traumatic event may carry that grief with them always, even if they don't speak about it. These past events are like invisible glasses through which they see the world, coloring all of their present experiences. Understanding this layer of invisible struggle is perhaps the most important part of our topic today. It calls for the deepest level of empathy, because if we only judge people by what we can see, we will almost always get it wrong. We will mistake silence for rudeness, fatigue for laziness, and caution for weakness. But when we remember that every person has a complex inner world shaped by their unique experiences, pressures, and pain, we learn to be much more gentle with each other. We give people the benefit of the doubt. We offer kindness without needing to know the whole story. We understand that a smile can hide a lot of pain, and that the strongest people are often not the loudest, but the ones who are winning silent battles we know nothing about. Having explored the complex reasons why life unfolds so differently for each of us, we now arrive at a very personal and practical part of our discussion. How should we respond to this knowledge? What can we do in our own hearts and in our own lives? The answer lies in cultivating two incredibly powerful qualities: gratitude, which is about being thankful for what we have, and empathy, which is about understanding the situations of others. These two qualities are like two wings that can help us fly higher, to see the world from a more beautiful and compassionate perspective. They can genuinely transform not only how we treat others, but also how we experience our own lives. Let's begin with the gentle art of being thankful, or as we often say in English, practicing gratitude. It's so easy in our modern world to fall into the trap of comparison. We scroll through social media and see pictures of people with seemingly perfect lives, luxurious vacations, beautiful homes, successful careers. We look at our neighbors, our colleagues, or even our friends, and we might see that they have more money, a better car, or more followers online. When we focus on what we lack, it's natural to feel a sense of dissatisfaction, jealousy, or even sadness. We might ask ourselves, why isn't my life like that? Or, it's not fair that they have so much and I have so little. But this way of thinking is a recipe for unhappiness. Gratitude offers a powerful antidote. It invites us to shift our focus from what we don't have to what we do have. The practice of gratitude doesn't mean ignoring our problems or pretending that life is perfect. It simply means taking a moment to consciously acknowledge the good things, no matter how small they may seem. Perhaps you have a roof over your head and a safe place to sleep tonight. Perhaps you had a warm meal today. Perhaps you have a family member or a friend who loves you. Perhaps you have a healthy body that allows you to walk, to see the sunset, or to hear music. Maybe you are grateful for the simple opportunity to listen to this episode and learn something new. To many people in the world, these are not small things. They are immense blessings. When we start to count our blessings, we realize how rich we truly are in ways that cannot be measured by money. Practicing gratitude is like turning on a light in a dark room. It doesn't remove the darkness, but it helps us see the good things that were there all along. It can bring a sense of peace and contentment to our hearts, even in the midst of difficulty. Now, let's talk about the other wing, empathy. Empathy is the ability to step into someone else's shoes, to try and see the world from their perspective, and to feel a little of what they might be feeling. It is one of the most important human qualities. Without empathy, we judge people quickly and harshly. We might see someone who is unemployed and think, he must be lazy. We might see someone who is angry and think, "She has a bad attitude." But empathy asks us to pause and wonder. It prompts us to ask deeper questions. What might this person be going through? What challenges are they facing that I know nothing about? What if I had walked their path? Let's revisit one of our earlier examples. Imagine you see a man who works long hours cleaning the floors in an office building. A mind without empathy might dismiss him as having a low-status job, but a mind with empathy sees a human story. You might wonder? Maybe he is working 2 jobs to pay for his child's education. Maybe he is a refugee who had to flee his home country and is doing whatever it takes to build a new life. Maybe he is caring for a sick parent at home. When we start to imagine the story behind the person, our judgment melts away and is replaced by respect and compassion. That is the power of empathy. Empathy is the foundation of genuine human connection. It makes us better friends, better parents, better partners, and better global citizens. It is a constant reminder that everyone we meet is carrying their own invisible burdens. Some people wear a bright smile to hide a heavy heart. Some people appear quiet and distant because they are wrestling with anxiety or grief. We can never truly know the full story of another person's life. And so, the wisest and kindest approach is to always assume they are doing the best they can with what they have. Empathy also liberates us from the prison of comparison, especially in the age of social media. We must remember that what people post online is almost always a carefully curated highlight reel. They share their successes, their happy moments, their beautiful pictures. They rarely share their failures, their fears, their messy realities. So, when we compare our own real, complex, and sometimes difficult life with someone else's seemingly perfect online persona, we are comparing our behind-the-scenes reality with their on-stage performance. It's an unfair comparison that will always leave us feeling inadequate. Empathy and understanding remind us that behind every perfect photo is a real human being with their own set of struggles. Gratitude and empathy work together beautifully. When we are grateful for our own lives, it opens our hearts. And when our hearts are open, it is easier to feel empathy for others. These qualities inspire action. A grateful person is more likely to be a generous person. When you appreciate what you have, you are more willing to share with someone who has less. This doesn't have to be about money. You can share your time by listening to a friend in need. You can share your knowledge by helping someone learn a new skill. You can share a kind word with a stranger who looks sad. These small acts of kindness, born from a heart of gratitude and empathy, are what create stronger, more caring communities. So, I invite you to try this. The next time you find yourself feeling that life is unfair, or that you don't have enough, pause, take a deep breath, and then think of 3 things you are genuinely thankful for in this moment. Then, think about the people you will interact with today. Your family, your colleagues, the person at the grocery store. Try to imagine their lives, their hopes, their worries. Ask yourself, how can I show a little more understanding, a little more kindness to them today? These simple mental shifts can make a world of difference. Remember, while we may not all walk the same path in life, we can all choose to walk our own path with more kindness, more gratitude, and more understanding. So, After this long and thoughtful journey, after exploring the different paths people walk and the reasons behind these differences, and after considering how we can respond with gratitude and empathy, we come to the final, crucial question. What is the takeaway? What are the essential lessons we can learn from this powerful idea and carry with us into our daily lives? The lessons are simple in words, but profound in their impact. The very first lesson, and perhaps the most freeing one, is to let go of constant comparison. Life is not a race against others. It is a personal journey. It is so easy to fall into the trap of looking at what others have, their achievements, their possessions, their relationships, and feeling that we are somehow falling behind. But as we have discussed, we are all playing a different game, with different rules and different starting points. Your journey is unique to you. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. When we stop measuring our worth by looking at others and start focusing on our own growth, our own efforts, and our own path, we find a deep sense of peace and self-acceptance. We learn to celebrate our own small victories and to be proud of the unique story we are writing. The second powerful lesson is this: life is often not fair, but we can always choose to be kind. It is a hard truth to accept that luck, privilege, and circumstance play such a large role in our lives. We cannot control where we are born or the family we are born into, but we have absolute control over how we choose to respond to the world around us. We can choose kindness in our words and actions. Kindness costs nothing, yet it is one of the most valuable things we can offer. When we understand that everyone is facing their own silent battles, we become less judgmental, more patient, and more compassionate. A kind word to a stressed cashier, a patient ear for a friend who is struggling, a helping hand to a neighbor in need. These small acts of kindness create ripples that spread far beyond what we can see. The world desperately needs more people who care, more people who listen, and more people who choose kindness even when it's not easy. The third lesson is about the transformative power of gratitude. Understanding how difficult life is for so many people should make us incredibly aware of the blessings in our own lives. It encourages us to stop taking things for granted. The food on our table, the clean water we drink, the roof over our head, the ability to read and learn. These are not small things. They are treasures. When we cultivate a habit of gratitude, our perspective shifts. We stop focusing on what is missing and start appreciating the abundance that is already present. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. It helps us find joy in the present moment, rather than constantly chasing an imagined future happiness. It is a key to a more contented and joyful life. Another important lesson is about developing respect for unseen strength. We often make the mistake of associating strength with wealth, status, or power. But true strength is often found in the quietest and most challenging places. Think of the single mother who works tirelessly to provide for her children. Think of the student who overcomes incredible poverty to get an education. Think of the person who lives with chronic pain but still shows up every day with a smile. These individuals are not weak. They are warriors. They possess a resilience and a courage that is truly awe-inspiring. This understanding teaches us to respect everyone, regardless of their station in life. We learn to see the inherent dignity and strength in every human being. Finally, we learn that our small, individual actions matter immensely. It can feel overwhelming to think about all the inequality and suffering in the world. We might think, I am just one person. What can I do? But we don't have to change the entire world. We just have to change our little corner of it. Every act of kindness, every gesture of support, every moment of understanding makes a difference. We can help one person. We can make one person's day a little brighter. We can share what we have, whether it's our time, our knowledge, or our resources. These small actions, when repeated by millions of people, create a powerful wave of positive change. They are our way of pushing back against the unfairness of the world, our way of building a better, kinder reality, one person at a time. These lessons are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools for living a better life. As a student of English, embracing these ideas can help you become a more empathetic and effective communicator. You will be able to engage in more meaningful conversations, to understand different viewpoints, and to connect with people on a deeper level. Emotionally, these lessons help us become more mature and resilient. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can start to ask, "Given my situation, what is the best thing I can do now?" We focus on our circle of control, our choices, our attitudes, and our actions. This is where our true power lies. So, to bring it all together, from this one simple truth, life is not the same for everyone. We learn a whole philosophy for living. We learn to stop comparing, to be kind, to be grateful, to respect others, and to act in small but meaningful ways. These are lessons that will not only improve your English, they will enrich your life. And so, we have reached the end of our thoughtful journey for today. Let's take just a moment to look back at the path we have traveled together. Our central theme was the simple yet profound statement: life is not the same for everyone. We began by carefully unpacking the meaning of this sentence, realizing that it speaks to the unique journey each person takes, with different starting points, different challenges, and different opportunities. We saw that no two life stories are identical, and that this diversity is a fundamental aspect of our shared humanity. We then explored the many reasons for these differences, from the families we are born into and the places we call home, to our health, our education, and the chances we are given. We went even deeper, exploring the invisible worlds inside each of us, the silent battles with mental health, hidden responsibilities, and past traumas that shape our present. Through this exploration, we moved to a discussion on the importance of cultivating gratitude for what we have, and empathy for the struggles of others, both seen and unseen. We learned that being thankful can bring peace to our own hearts, while trying to understand others can help us become kinder and more compassionate beings. Finally, we distilled our conversation into a set of powerful life lessons. We learned the importance of not comparing ourselves to others, of choosing kindness even when life isn't fair, of appreciating our blessings, of respecting the unseen strength in people, and of recognizing the immense power of our own small, positive actions. These are lessons that can guide us, not just in our language learning, but in becoming better friends, better family members, and better citizens of the world. Now, before we part ways, I want to leave you with a small and simple task. a way to practice both your English and these important ideas. I want you to think about this question. What is one thing in your life, right now, that you are truly thankful for? It does not need to be anything grand or dramatic. It could be the comfort of your chair, a delicious cup of coffee, a recent conversation with a friend, your health, your family, or simply this quiet moment you have to learn and reflect. Take a moment to think of your answer, and then try to express it in a full English sentence. For example, you could say, "Today, I am thankful for my family's support," or "I am grateful for the chance to learn new things." This simple exercise is a wonderful way to practice both your language skills and the beautiful habit of gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of English in Fluency. I truly hope that our conversation has been helpful, not only for your English listening and comprehension skills, but also for offering you a new perspective on life. Remember, learning is a process. The more you immerse yourself in the language through meaningful topics like this one, the more you will learn and grow. Don't forget that you can always listen to this episode again. You can pause, rewind, and repeat any sentences or phrases that you want to practice. You could even write down some of the new vocabulary and try to use it in your own speaking or writing. I am genuinely proud of you for dedicating your time to this journey of learning and self-improvement. Keep up your wonderful efforts. Keep practicing. And most importantly, keep growing as a thoughtful, kind, and compassionate person. Please take care, and I look forward to speaking with you again in our next episode. And if you found this conversation valuable, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you won't miss our future explorations together. Goodbye for now.